dreamforabetterworld.com. This is the fourth video in the series called Working with Basic Fractions. In case you missed the first three videos, you can get them free at www.adreamforabetterworld.com. You may also get my free workbook from there as well. If you do not have the workbook, please stop this video and get it free from www.adreamforabetterworld.com. This video does have prerequisites. You must know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers. You will need to know the vocabulary in the workbook. Plus, you should have finished the problems from the workbook covering the first three videos. Also, this video needs you to have a strong understanding of taking the prime factorization of a number and getting the least common multiple. Remember, it is never a good idea to learn new material until you are sure you are comfortable with the material you just learned. So please finish those problems before continuing. If you have finished the prerequisites, then you are ready for this video. The workbook will help you a lot after you watch this video. So let's begin. This video will only cover the addition and subtraction of two fractions where the two denominators have nothing in common, like 1/7 minus 3/5. So, what do you do when you have two fractions where the two denominators have nothing in common? How do you add or subtract them? Let's take this problem for example, 1/7 minus 3/5. How do we subtract them? This one takes a bit more work compared to the others we worked on. We have to get the prime factorization and then get the least common multiple. Luckily, the denominators are already primes, so we do not have to get the prime factorization for this problem. So now we need to get the least common multiple of 5 and 7, which of course is 35. So we multiply the first fraction by 5/5 and the second fraction by 7/7. So we get 5/35 minus 21/35. This can easily be reduced to negative 16/35. Notice how all the videos go back to the first theme, adding fractions with the same denominator. Of course, that was an easy one, where both denominators were primes. Let's tackle a harder one, like 5/12 minus 7/16. So again, the first step is to write the denominators as a product of primes, which is also called getting the prime factorization. So we have 2 times 2 times 3 for 12, and we have 2 times 3 times 3 for 18. The next step is to get the least common denominator. Remember, to do that, all you need to do is three things. First, collect all the primes. In this case, that is 2 and 3. Then find the maximum number of times each prime is used for each fraction. Notice 2 is used twice for the first fraction and once for the second fraction. So 2 is used a maximum number of 2 times. You also see that 3 is used a maximum number of 2 times. Finally, the last step is to make sure each denominator has the maximum number of each prime. In this case, 2 2's and 2 3's. As you can see, the first denominator was missing a 3. The second denominator was missing a 2. So we multiply the first fraction by 3/3. Remember, we can only multiply by 1. And the second fraction by 2/2. So we end up with 15/36 minus 14/36. Notice that 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 is 36. That is all there is to it. Now you should be able to do big fractions also. All you need to do is break them down into their prime factorizations. Then you are almost done. So why don't we try adding two big fractions and see what happens? So let's try adding 7/150 plus 11/1260. It looks real hard, but really if you break it down into its prime factors, it is a piece of cake. Here we see that the prime factorization of 150 is 2 times 3 times 5 times 5, and the prime factorization of 1260 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 7. So each denominator needs 2 2's, 2 3's, 2 5's, and 1 7. So the first fraction needs a 2, 3, and a 7, and the second fraction just needs a 5. So we just multiply them against the fractions and then reduce. Of course, once we get that done, then reducing it becomes a simple problem of adding two fractions with the same denominator. So as you can see, the really only hard part is figuring out what the prime factorization is of each of the numbers. As long as you practice a lot, it becomes much easier and quicker. As for mixed fractions, just ignore the integers at the beginning and add them at the end, just like you did for the other 3 videos. Here is a quick sample though. 2 and 7/15 minus 4 and 3/20. So again, let's go ahead and rewrite the denominators as a product of primes. We see that 15 is just 3 times 5 and 20 is 2 times 2 times 5. So now the next step is to find out how many of each prime we need. So we need 2 2's, 1 3, and 1 5. We see that each fraction has the 5, so the first fraction only needs 2 2's and the second fraction just needs a 3. Then just multiply the fractions, then reduce. Here we end up with 2 and 28/60 minus 4 and 9/60. So just need to subtract those, but we covered that in the first video. Please tackle that worksheet I have given you and try the problems a few different ways. Once you have solved all my problems, go back and create your own. To create your own problems, just randomly pick 2 numbers for denominators and any 2 numbers for the numerators and add or subtract them. The more you work on it, the better you will become, and also the faster you will become. Soon you will be able to get the prime factorization quickly, and then you can handle big fractions lightning fast. Okay, I think you know enough to tackle the second section of problems on the workbook. Remember, no cheating. You will learn nothing if you look at the answers before you try the problems. Only look at the answers after you are done. Note, all answers in the back of the workbook are written out step by step. Once you have finished those problems, then you are ready to try the 5th video, multiplying 2 fractions, like this example, 5/8 times 2/15. I think you will find this easier than adding and subtracting fractions. Wait and see. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please tell others about it. If you have any comments, you may send them to me at comments@adreamforabetterworld.com. While it is free, I do hope you will consider making a donation to us so we can continue to keep making more of these videos. Please make your donation by using PayPal and using our email address donation@adreamforabetterworld.com. To use PayPal, just visit www.paypal.com. It is a free and safe service to send money. Thank you very much for watching.